This is going to be a bit of a rant because, well, I am a little annoyed, so I'm going to rant. The first thing I want to talk about is copying someone else's deck. Now, people do this all the time. They net deck, they copy people's decks, they do whatever. This isn't a problem. It becomes a problem when you copy someone's deck and then try and get credit for it. I'll give you an example. I usually don't go, I have a few locals where I live. Some of them are good, some of them are not. One of my locals I don't go to anymore because the prizes just aren't good, you know, I mean, just not, they're just not. I mean, like, first place it's like 3 packs, so it's just like, why would I even go? So, I haven't been there in a couple months, and when I went there the other day, or today technically, which was Monday, sorry, we're at Tuesday now. Wow. Time is getting away from me. But anyways, I went to my locals today before I went to work. So I go there, and I see a bunch of people playing different decks. And I see one of my friends, and I start talking to him, and I was asking him, you know, what deck is who's playing good decks right now. And he tells me that, you know, a lot of people are playing some pretty good decks right now, but one of my other friends, I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he's playing a really good gadget deck. I'm like, okay, that's odd, because I know this player. He never plays gadgets. He always plays meta. Like, he never played gadgets. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what is he running? He's like, I don't know, dude. It's some crazy anti-meta gadget deck. I'm like, it wouldn't be centered around Tengu, gadgets, Banisher, stuff like that, would it? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, and it runs Triple Starlight Road? He's like, oh yeah, dude. How'd you know? How'd I know? And so I was just like, and he said this was his deck? He's like, yeah, he said he made this deck, he made it all on his own, you know, he came up with it, blah, 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 he tested it all through the bullcrap. I'm like, really? So I walk up to this other person, who's my friend, and I tap him on the shoulder, and, you know, I'm like, so I hear you made a really awesome deck. And he looked at me with that look that just like, because he knew he was fucked. He knew that I realized what was going on. And immediately, like, he started saying, well, my deck looks just like yours, but I didn't copy your build, I swear. I made this one on my own. His build matched my regionals build card for card. I kid you not. The only one card difference was he ran heavy, I didn't. That was it. No other difference. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? You copied my deck and then are saying it is yours and you built it. It's just like, if you're going to copy someone's deck, have the balls to say, oh yeah, this is this person's deck. I mean, you can run it, you can use it, I don't care. I'm not copywriting my deck, I don't give a shit. Like, if you want to net deck it or whatever you want to call it, copy it, play it so you can win, by all means. But don't fucking take credit for it and say it's your deck. Like, that's just, it's such a pussy move, it really is. I can't stand it when people do that. Which is why I'm pacing, because I just got home and it's like 6 in the morning and I'm pretty mad. So I'm basically pacing and making this video. And then the second thing was he started talking crap to me. He was saying, well, you know, this deck is really good, but it kind of sucks in one way. I'm like, what way is that? He's like, it can't beat plants. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Plants are easy for gadgets. He's like, no. Plants have answers to everything, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the fucking plants can even hurt you? He's like, well, Tengu. I'm like, okay, motherfucker, look. A, you saw him warning the motherfucker. B, you mind control and exceed with the motherfucker. Or C, you go into a monster bigger than it and then beat its face in. It's not hard to figure out. But he was saying, no, that's not what I mean. It's like, well, then what do you mean? And he was just saying, well, you have to waste 3 1-for-1s to get rid of the Tengus. Why? Stupid players, why the fuck would you waste like 3 smashing on Tengus? Like, that is such a garbage move. Like, if they attack your gadget, book a moon their fucking Tengu. Next turn, summon another gadget, exceed into Utopia. Beat their fucking Tengu's face in. How hard is that? Like, I don't understand why people can't understand this. And that's another thing. I hate it when someone copies your deck, and then they don't know how to play it correctly, because they didn't build it, so they say it sucks. It's like, It's not your goddamn deck. How do you think you're going to know how to play it against every deck? I built that specifically for me. I know how to play it. Yes, other people can pick it up and play it too, but they're not going to have all the knowledge it takes to play another deck when it comes to the situation where you have to. And they don't understand that. Like, he doesn't understand that. Like, he wasn't citing in King Tiger Wangu versus Plans. Why the fuck wouldn't you? It kills the Dandelion tokens, it kills the Lone Fire Blossoms, it kills the Debris Dragon, it kills any fucking monster they summon. Oh look, I'm gonna summon. Wangu, eat your fucking face, get off my field. That's all there is to it. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that works. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, it's just stupid. I don't understand why people do this crap. So, understand, if you're going to copy someone's deck, by all means do it, but A, don't take the credit from the original maker, because that's just a really shitty thing to do, especially if you know the person. And 2, if you're going to take and use a deck, make sure you can play every deck with it, and if you can't, change it. Like, it's stupid. And another reason he was saying, well, you know, the last Shonen Jump proved that, you know, gadgets aren't good anymore. How the fuck did it prove that? The only gadget deck that even entered into the top 32 was a Machina gadget player, which is nowhere near as good as an anti-meta gadget player, in my opinion. And he's like, well, anti-meta gadgets are so good, why do they even top? I'm like, because nobody knows how to fucking run it. If I had the time and the money to go halfway across the country for 3 days just to play a fucking card game, I would. Trust me, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But unfortunately, I have a job and a life. I'm not going over there. Like, if we have a Shonen Jump in California or something, you will see my ass there in a heartbeat. No problem. Seattle, anywhere from Seattle to California, somewhere in there, fine. I'm okay with it. You know, if they have another one in Seattle, I'll go to that one. I've gone to 2 of them in Seattle and 2 of them in California. Or something like that. I mean, if they're on the West Coast, I don't care. I'll go. But I'm not going all the way across the country to go to one. So, in short, basically, just don't copy people's decks. Like, this is the one thing that I'm going to say. Don't copy someone else's deck. You're just not, it's not going to work for you how it works for them, because your playstyle is not the same. If you want to use their deck as a guideline, as kind of like a base to build off of, to make your own version, sure, copy their deck and then, you know, go with it. But if someone says, hey, that's a really cool deck, where'd you get it? You know, if anything, say, well, you know, I originally got the idea from this person, but then I made the deck my own. That's fine. But don't say, oh, I made this deck all by myself, you know, nobody else helped me, blah, 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 blah. Because then you're just stealing someone else's idea. And you're making yourself look good when it's really their creation. So, basically, in short, don't be douchebags. Just don't.